Hi,
How are you?
I'm good.
Did you miss me?
Always.
Thank
Anxiety has really only started to come up for me in the last couple of years, which I'm not surprised about because it's, I think, something that's much more widespread. And the world we live in today is a little bit different than the world we lived in a few years ago, even. Um, so when I feel like it's coming up, to be honest, like I recognize it and I just acknowledge that it's happening, and then I really just do like not nothing. I just take a moment to like be and to just sit and breathe, and that's really what helps me get through it. I find I can often, if I get anxious, go into like doing more action and like trying to get things done to feel better, and that actually makes the anxiety go up more. So what I try to do is actually just take a second, take 5 deep breaths, and remind myself that, I'm not trying to save anyone's life, and it's all going to be okay. I have an older brother and sister and a younger sister, and I've like feel like I've found my role in my family to kind of be the rescuer, or to be like the strength. And it's a you know it's a beautiful thing because it allows me to be of service to my family in a way that's really meaningful and hopefully is really helping them. But it can also be paralyzing sometimes, to not be able to really do what you need to do for them, to not be able to save them. Because at the end of the day, like what I've really learned in the last couple of years is like you really can't save other people. Like they really need to save themselves, and you can really just be there for them in many different ways. Um, but the only way to learn that is to really go through it. Like there's no textbook for that. There's no one that's going to tell you how to do it. You just got to do it yourself. That's been an interesting part of my last couple of years, is just learning how to be there for people, and to be there when they need you like the most, and to like figure that shit out in the moment when it's happening, because there's no other way to do it. You just got to do it. Um yeah, and you can't save them, but at the same time, like you're right, like we're all interdependent. We all need to help each other out, and that's like something I've been thinking about so much recently, is how people are isolating themselves from others and from the world. And um I think like the pendulum in the world is being swung really far to one side, and soon it's going to come back around and people are going to realize how much they need each other. Words are words. Like everyone's meaning of selfish can be a little bit different. I often use that term, and I often say to people like, listen, helping you is actually a selfish thing on my part, because when I help you it feels really good. So that's me being selfish, but selfish has this like bad negative connotation where we think it's a bad thing, but words are just words, right? Like yes, they can hurt when we say them, but at the end of the day it's like the actions that matter and how we make people feel. There's a fine line between creating strict boundaries for yourself and why you're creating those boundaries to allow yourself to be who you need to be for other people. Because at the end of the day, like I truly believe that one of the highest forms of happiness is how you're supporting other people and how you are helping other people in some way. I think that brings humans like true joy and happiness, and that's when they feel the most fulfilled. So I kind of wonder if people don't know that, and if perhaps they're missing out on like a level of joy and happiness that they could achieve if they were figuring out how to set boundaries for the right reason, but then also serving other people at the same time. I really need to like always slow down to really understand what they're trying to say, and I also try to listen to what's not being said. Like I try to listen to um how they're potentially feeling when they say that, and where that's coming from. And sometimes I have to be really quiet and just listen, and 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 leave space for other people to share so that I can make sense of all that information. Um, and for sure, sometimes, you know, some people set me off, and I react and then I regret how I react. But then I like look back and then analyze how I reacted. And sometimes I'm not happy with it. Sometimes I am. And then I think about that. So, um, yeah, it can be confusing for sure. I've been thinking a lot about, it's gonna sound really morbid, but I've been thinking a lot about death lately and how like when I'm on my deathbed, if I get to be like 85, 90 years old, like I don't want to look back at my life and regret not being like truthful and honest and like super transparent and just like saying how I feel when I feel it and having conversations with people that, you know, had an impact on me where I could have an impact on them. Like I want to leave it all on the table before I die, you know? Like what's the point in holding it all in? To me there's no point. And I think sometimes it's hard because society in many ways makes us have to feel the need to hold it all in. And that's fucked up to me. My older brother and sister pursued science, and then one became a pediatric neurosurgeon. He's a very successful one in Montreal. And the other one became a veterinarian. And she has 2 kids now on mat leave. And so I really grew up, and I'm very honest about this, like I really grew up sort of in their shadow in a sense, thinking that like I needed to be like them. I'm not as smart as them intellectually. But what's been pretty interesting over the last 10 years through my career is like I've developed a sense of like emotional intelligence, and through like all the personal work that I've done and the self-awareness that has actually allowed me to play a role in my family that was kind of missing from the 4 of us kids and my parents. I think it's sad to think of people not pursuing something because of one person that they interact that ruins it for them. You know, so we have choice in being able to like recognize that the reason we don't like something is because of someone else, not because of us or how we are experiencing it, you know? Like you can only really be responsible for yourself. You can only control yourself. You can't control other people. So if you can get past recognizing that like the experience sucked because of someone else, then you can try it again. You know, so that opens up like a whole new world of possibilities to try everything that you want to try and not let your past get in the way of like where you want to go. I was going through a bit of a rocky time in my life, and I was like ending a really long relationship I was in, and I was on a trip with my sister, and someone actually asked me on that trip, like, are you happy? And no one had ever asked me if I was happy before. And I was like, fuck, like, I don't know. I don't know the answer. Like, I think I am. I'm not sure. Like, it made me question like everything. It just made me question everything. And we were in a pool, like an infinity pool overlooking the ocean with the sunset. And it was like a beautiful sunset. And like that moment literally made me recognize how much I don't take time to appreciate the sunset and how beautiful it is. And so now every single day, minus the days when it's cloudy and overcast, I literally, if I'm outside or driving in my car, I like look at the sunset, and it reminds me like to just enjoy the moment and appreciate life for what it is. I'll plan my day or my like evening around a sunset. Like I will, in the summer especially when it's like nice out and not like all icy and shit, like I will plan my day around like, okay, well, the sun sets at, I mean, it's later in the summer, like 7, 8 p.m. Okay, I want to go here to watch it. I'll literally drive somewhere to go watch it where I know I'll get a good view. And sometimes I'll bring people along, and it's interesting over the last few years how many people have actually wanted to like join me because they have gotten a better appreciation for that. And I mean, you can say that about so many different things, like appreciating the ocean, appreciating like being in the forest, like just getting back to nature and like simplicity in like the overcomplicated world that we live in, you know? So sunset is like the thing for me.